You've seen the red stripe on some black belts here. It's not just a decoration. It represents a deeper understanding of combat mechanics that you can start building long before you test for black. Let me clarify what these stripes actually mean. The white stripe on a black belt indicates mechanical mastery. You have demonstrated proficiency in the physical techniques of our system. The red stripe goes further. It represents an additional layer, elemental understanding. This isn't about learning new moves. It's about understanding the underlying principles that govern why techniques work, when to apply them, and how to recognize the conditions that call for them. Many students assume this deeper work only begins at black belt. That's a mistake. You can start integrating this understanding from day one if you choose. The path is flexible. Some students benefit from focusing purely on mechanics first, building a solid foundation before adding the conceptual layer. Others thrive when they learn both simultaneously. The key is knowing that the red stripe path is available to you now, not years from now. If you're wondering when to begin this journey, I recommend green belt as a solid starting point. Why green? By then, you've built enough mechanical foundation to make the elements meaningful. You've started two-man exercises. You're applying skills under controlled conditions. The concepts in the digital library, things like processing elements or biomechanical principles, aren't abstract ideas. They directly relate to what you're experiencing in your training. Starting early gives you time. The elements are not something you master in a weekend or a month. They're layers of awareness that build over years. The earlier you begin, the more deeply they integrate into your understanding. A student who starts at green belt and one who waits until black belt will both benefit. But the early starter has years of applying elemental understanding to their training, seeing the framework operate in real time, building perception alongside mechanics. Let me be transparent about the financial side because this matters. When you purchase access to the digital library, that money goes directly to Grand Master Leshman's system. It funds the ongoing documentation project, a body of work that continues to grow after decades of development. I don't see a penny of that. What you pay me for is separate. You pay for my time, my experience, my ability to help you understand what I've learned over 20 years of study. That happens in dedicated seminar classes for students on the red stripe path. These classes are where the library comes alive. We take a concept you've been reading about and I show you how I perceive it in real training conditions. I demonstrate how recognition happens, how understanding shifts from intellectual to perceptual. You watch. You ask questions, you try it yourself. That guided exploration is what you're paying for. Here's what this actually looks like in practice. You're a green belt student, you've been training consistently. Your mechanics are developing. You decide to purchase access to the digital library. You start exploring the 6 categories: human elements, biomechanical elements, combative elements, processing elements, psychology elements, environmental elements. At first, much of it feels abstract. Then you attend your first red stripe seminar. I have the digital library as our reference. We take a concept, say something from the processing elements, and I show you how I perceive it in real training. You watch, you ask questions, you try it, something clicks. The abstract concept becomes visible. You see it in my movement, then in your own. The understanding moves from your head into your body. This happens again and again, week over week, concept by concept. Each seminar peels back another layer. By the time you reach blue belt, you're not just training mechanics anymore. You're seeing the elements operate in everything you do. You recognize conditions that other students miss. You understand why certain responses work and others fail. Your training has a depth that wasn't there before. By brown belt, you're operating differently entirely. The elements aren't something you study. They are how you perceive combat. You walk onto the training floor and see the framework in action, in every partner, in every exchange. And by the time you test for black belt with a red stripe, you've built something that can't be gained any other way. 20+ belts worth of layered understanding. That's not something you can cram in a few months. It's the result of years of consistent application, guided exploration, and patient study. The red stripe represents that accumulated depth. Start where you are. If you're ready for deeper understanding, the red stripe path is open. Build the foundation now, and let the layers accumulate over time.